I'm Darren with Akshon Esports, and welcome back to another installment of Akshon Recap, the show where we highlight various stories ongoing within the esports community. For our first story of the day, we've got some ninja patch notes from the PTR. While everyone is focused on Brigitte and trying out her kit, some members of the community noticed a few significant updates to the game that were drowned out by the hype of a new hero. First up, Sombra got an interesting change where you will now gain ultimate charge if you end up killing someone with an environmental kill by using your hack or EMP. So this means that while playing on maps like Nepal Sanctum or Lijiang Gardens, you can pull off antics like taking out a Pharah Mercy with a well-timed translocator and EMP combo. Next, we have a nice quality of life change that will allow you to monitor the ultimate charge of your teammates. By pressing tab, you will be able to see how much of their ult meter has been filled, and at a glance be able to tell who is nearing their ultimate rather than having to rely on your teammates spamming the Z key. Now for some Overwatch League talk. So looking back at week 1 and Fuel's last night against Seoul Dynasty, the team is having a combination of AKM, Effect, and Rascal take on the DPS roles while Taimu moves on to the tank position. This internal roster shuffle has proven to be fruitful as the Fuel started off strong week 1 and were even able to take a map off of Seoul, but it's clear that there are still some kinks to be worked out. For example, they came into Hanamura with a clear hero disadvantage with no answer to the enemy Widowmaker, despite running a soldier as her pressure appeared to be too much for them to handle at point A. On the other hand, I have to give it to Seoul for playing a near perfect map in Nepal. In the first minute of Village, we could see that Dynasty's precisely timed dives and picks on key targets left Dallas in a mess. Miro's dive onto the clustered Dallas chunked AKM low enough that the DPS player had to retreat into the health pack room for healing. This left the rest of the team split from one of their main damage sources and preoccupied themselves with the Winston bubble, causing a disadvantageous fight for Dallas. When fighting against dive, you want to group up just enough to punish poor engagements, but not too close like Dallas, or you and your teammates will all get cleaved by the AoE damage, but also not too passively spread out, or you would run the risk of getting picked without the peeling of your front line. XQC in particular had a rough night as he found himself frequently the recipient of a pulse bomb to the face from Munchkin. Additionally, mechanical slip-ups from Rascal as Sombra, and overall poor positioning on Nepal from the Fuel, despite a clutch pulse bomb stick by Effect, will give Dallas a lot to reflect upon before their next set of games. It's clear that Dallas Fuel is improving, and these new additions to their team are helping. But what do you think they need to do further to improve their game? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this matter in the comments section below. And now, here's Akshon Esports' Adam Neylan with a quick interview from the Overwatch League with Houston Outlaws Boink. Take it away, Adam.
So Boink, first of all, congratulations on an amazing 4-0 win over Boston Uprising. So tell me, earlier this week, you beat London Spitfire, which gave you a little bit of trouble during stage 1. 4-0 today over Boston. You guys are looking really good. How do you think you're going to shape up this stage?
I think it shows that we're really good at preparing, really good at behind-the-scenes stuff, making sure we practice hard, using our time efficiently, and using time that we need to do in order to improve faster and more than the other teams. So I think, like, going forward, as long as we keep the preparation up, our work ethic up, I think we'll do really well this stage.
Awesome. So going into stage 2, it's kind of Mercy biting the dust and long live Lucio. So how you feeling about the support changes, and are we going to see a bit more of you going in throughout stage 2? Oh yeah, we're definitely going to see more Lucio. It's definitely really strong right now. Mercy has a place maybe here or there, depending on the compositions and strategies, but overall there's going to be a lot more Lucio, which means I'm going to get a lot more playtime, and I'm really happy about that. Nice, nice. So for Houston Outlaws in particular, there's a lot of really amazing fan content, a lot of fan art. What has been your favorite fan experience or piece of fan content that you've seen thus far?
I don't know, there's so many good ones to choose from. There's so many signs that people make that are so good. Like, there was a last one against London. There was a sign of Jake's tweet that was like, it's 4 a.m., I'm in your house, I have a rip tire. There's a bunch of Muma stuff, the Muma Sim stuff, I don't know. There's so many good stuff. It's hard to choose, but I'm just, like, when I go out, like, a lot of times you go out after the matches, like, maybe go outside and talk to fans, and that's just, like, the most rewarding part, because you get to see and talk to people that actually really, they're big fans, they really want to support you, and they just love the game. And that's, to me, is, like, one of the most precious things you can have.
Thanks, Adam. And now for our last story of the day. Circa Esports, an organization known for their involvement in the fighting game community as the sponsor of players in titles like Street Fighter V and Injustice 2, has announced their effective closure at the end of the EVO Championship Series later this year. Circa Esports CEO Mark Lekak tells Unicorn that the decision to shut down stems from financial concerns and how things had just not gone as well as they had hoped. Quote, "Everything fell through. It's more a financial concern we had. We didn't want to end up like other organizations that screw over their players for not paying or sending them to events during their contract." Circa was one of the first organizations that had announced their acquisition of a franchise slot in the upcoming Rivalcade Esports Battle League for a reported $1 million USD. According to Rivalcade CEO Scott O'Leary, the slot in the league will be opening up again to interested parties. And with that, that's all for this edition of Action Recap. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe by clicking the action icon, and check out some of our other videos, which you can see to the right. Or, if you have something to say and want to join in on the conversation, consider joining our Discord server. Links to that and everything else mentioned in this video are in the description box below. This has been Darren with Akshon Esports, and we'll see you in the next one.